So Ponzi schemes can really take a toll on investors. A lot of times money goes into it that is counted on for the future. This is Dave at AFX Search, licensed investigators. A Ponzi scheme is typically an investment scenario put out to the public to take in funds that presumably are going to get a high rate of return. They're funds that usually go to some claimed legitimate investment. It could be stocks, it could be real estate, it may be some other type of business venture. When in actuality the money just is going into a pot of money that little bits and pieces go back out to pay returns to the early investors. At some point, the Ponzi scheme, of course, has to collapse because there's not enough money coming in to keep up with all the investors that have added up over the years. Ponzi schemes typically, as run by a fraudster, are something which have the operator taking out large amounts of the investments or the incoming funds for their own personal use. And when we investigate Ponzi schemes for asset recovery to get money back for the investors, that's typically where much of the recovery comes from. That personal use or corporate use by the managers or the originators of this Ponzi scheme is not in line with what's represented. So even if it has been spent on jewelry or boats or cars or planes, sometimes that money can be clawed back, especially if the transfer has been enabled by a salesperson, by a professional like an accountant, maybe even an attorney, will have some protection built into their industry. Sometimes there's protection funds, insurance, or other types of state-run or government-run compensation to victims. Even if the attorney wasn't the actual operator of the Ponzi scheme, their involvement might make their funds vulnerable to recovery. So if you've been a victim of a Ponzi scheme and are looking to identify it, maybe find out who the principals are, more importantly, get your funds back, recover your funds and your assets that have been put into it. You can reach us at our website at afxsearch.com.